Hello, Giggles. We are back. It is officially, it's kind of laggy. Do you see that? Or is it fine? I don't know. We'll keep going for now.
It is laggy, but I was like,
We are
maybe it'll be
testing a
fine.
new platform, so bear with us if we're like questioning ourselves. But we're back after our hiatus. Pam and I are both living completely different lives from the last time we all talked. So today we're just gonna do a fun catch-up episode, but we were just talking, we're like, is it season 2, episode 1? Is it episode 34? It's both. Welcome
It's
back,
both.
everybody. I also see a note that says while we're recording, it's gonna appear lower quality than the recording we get. It will be captured at
Oh,
full
good.
quality.
I didn't read it. I just
So
X'd it out. So I'm happy
what it
you read that.
says. So I think we're just gonna keep going, and if it's a little laggy or fuzzy, we're gonna trust the recording, and this will be the test episode. So sorry, everybody. It's also Mercury retrograde, and Pam and I were like, let's change technology because we're geniuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of, it's okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's Mercury retrograde.
Venus
It's also
retrograde.
Venus retrograde, and we're probably still in a little bit of eclipse season energy.
Yeah.
It's
There's like a
kind of
little
fun.
shadowy period.
How's everybody doing? Because
And
I was
Neptune
unwell with
just
this.
wait, what?
I said, "How's everybody doing?" Because I now am feeling better, but I was very unwell in the thick of this.
In the thick of it.
In the thick of it?
Um, do you remember that TikTok sound or no? It was
Yes.
like that was like pandemic time.
Yes.
Um, and also Neptune just entered Aries for the first time in like 160
What does that
something
mean?
years, I think. Um, well, it's the first time and the last time that it will happen in our lifetimes, unless
Mhm.
science catches up really fast and we all live to 160 years. Um,
It could happen. Never
which
say never. Wouldn't be surprised. Nothing could surprise me nowadays.
don't sign me up for that, but I would like to unsubscribe
Good
from
on a
that
solid 99.
scientific upgrade. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so Neptune was just in Pluto for a very long time. Last time, this is a little history fun fact. The
Wait,
last
Neptune was
time
in
that
Pluto?
sorry, it was in Pisces.
Okay. Okay.
Um
I was like, I don't think it was okay.
the last time
Basic.
that Neptune was in Aries was the American Civil War.
Kind of feels like
So
that's where we're headed. I was gonna wait a minute. That feels thank you.
you know.
Everybody get ready.
um themes are theming, but um yeah, basically Neptune was just in Pisces for a really long time.
Uh-huh.
Pisces is ruled by Neptune. They're both
I was gonna
very,
say
very
that's a vibe,
dreamy,
yeah. Dreamy.
lot of like Delulu energy. So
Love.
now I think Neptune kind of takes like a bit more of a fiery approach and it's more direct, kind of like dreams kind of get more um I can't think of the right word.
I feel like I always think of
You
like,
know what
yeah,
I
like
mean?
Aries
Like
is the ram. So it's like
yeah.
nothing can fucking stop me. And it can be a little forceful where we're
Yeah.
not supposed to force, but Aries is just like fucking I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like you
keep
like
butting my
the
head
dreams
against
that
this
you have,
until
like
it
now is you're taking action.
it's time to be
We're
stubborn and go for it and not give up on
yeah.
it. Yeah. Hell yeah. I love that. I love that energy.
Yeah.
Loves it. But
Is
I
this
feel
the
like
jacket that you or I just realized it.
this is the jacket that
You're like, this is coming home with me.
so the story of this jacket is that it was purchased for me as a gift from my ex-boyfriend. And then he said, "Actually, I really like that jacket. I'm gonna keep it." And I said, "Fucking
Oh,
excuse," but it wasn't a problem because we lived together. And then we decided not to live together anymore, and I haven't stopped thinking of this jacket since. I was on the search. I almost bought the same jacket off of eBay. It's just like an old Vans jacket. I almost bought one for like way too much money off eBay because I love this jacket so much. And now, life update. I'm back in LA. Ooh, it's 4:44 p.m. right now. I'm back in LA.
It's like, no, it's not.
We're in very different time zones. I was laughing because were in different countries, but in the same time zones for so long, or like closer,
Yeah.
and now it feels like we're so much farther apart, even though I'm back in the
Yeah.
country because now we're
Yeah.
Pacific Eastern, where before we were both in Central when I was in Mexico, and then we were only like 1 hour off when I was in Colombia and Brazil.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm back in LA. I'm house sitting, or rather cat sitting, while he's doing international tours. And I immediately took the jacket from the closet, and I've been wearing it ever since. Eat, sleep, drink in this jacket. No, I don't sleep in it, but
Will not
I,
let it out of your sight.
I will be taking it with.
Yeah.
Whoops. How did that get in
Don't know
there?
where it went.
Huh. So weird. Sorry, I'll bring it back
Sorry.
next time. No, I won't.
No, I won't.
So yep, this is the famous jacket. I'll probably wear it every week when we record while I'm, and you'll see
Because
it
I
in
was
every
looking at
Instagram
it and I
story
was like,
post.
I like that jacket. And then I was like, oh my God,
It's
she's
the
got
jacket.
it.
Got a little indent on it here. Oh, sorry, I was starting
Love
to hold
that.
my microphone out. It's just like the perfect amount of oversized. Stuff isn't always cute oversized on my tall frame. You know, it's hard to find a good oversized on me.
Really?
Yeah, because
I was literally just thinking that, like, because I wore like one of my t-shirt dresses the
yeah.
other day, and I was like, this looked so much better on Sadie.
But I have to get like a double or triple XL for a t-shirt to be a dress on me, and then it's like so
But
wide.
like, same.
But it
Yeah.
kind of drapey. It's just hard to, but like most places don't necessarily carry that size. The ones that has an oversized XLs aren't very big. Like they look like more like an L on me because I'm just
Yeah.
small. So it's hard. Like if I want it to be a true dress, that doesn't happen very often. I mean, I still wear shorts under them regardless. And this jacket, it
But
could
like,
be a little
same.
bit bigger. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Same. But for me, like, I look like a large toddler, I think. When I,
Don't say things like that.
you know what I mean?
But for me, it was so sick.
I
For me,
did not
you look
hear
like a
any of
large.
that.
You didn't hear me? Can you hear me now?
No,
What?
I can hear you now.
You kind of hear me now?
Now I can.
Now? That was weird. Okay. Well, I was just laughing that you said it really seriously that you look like a large toddler, which
Well, because I do.
you kind of do.
Because, like, if I put my hair, I feel like if I, like, put my hair in pigtails, I would look like Boo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You would.
which my brother jokes all the time that, my youngest brother jokes all the time that I do look like Boo with the bangs and everything, and my first word was kitty. So, it's just, but, anyway.
That's so cute.
Any hoozles.
Weasels. So when does you're our house astrologer now? I'm officially calling you that because you've officially started offering astrology readings, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, I haven't announced it to the general public yet, but
Oh,
I
now you know.
probably won't.
We'll just go
But I was
leave that part out. Well, Pam is doing her. This is why you have to get on her email list, you knuckleheads.
exactly,
Just
that's what I
sorry,
was gonna say.
knuckleheads. So you got to get on her email list because if you know, she has started offering them to the
Now that
Lunar
you
League,
know.
right? The
Yes,
Lunar League, yeah.
the Lunar League. I
Well,
think it's such a
okay.
cheesy name, but I love
I
it.
love it. We're
Yeah.
doing a night, a crowning, a coronation right now. I'm coronating. I'm guiding you. If you're not watching, I'm doing the I have to go
Coronation
hand in
Day.
hand. And I'm bestowing the official title of House Astrologer, the Giggly Witch's in-house astrologer. Pam,
Oh my
everybody.
god.
Pam the witch. When is all this shit over with? When do we all feel better?
Well,
When
I
can I
know
get my
that
life back?
Venus stations direct on the 12th.
Okay, in 12 days of
So,
time of recording. 10 days when this is coming out. Okay. Okay.
yeah. Um and then Mercury stations direct, I think, like a week after that, I
Okay.
want to say.
I have more questions.
Um
Sorry to put you on the spot.
okay.
Okay, so I I know the themes around both of these retrogrades, but we have Mercury retrograde much more often, so I'm more familiar with that. It's
Yes.
often technology, communication. Famously, we get a lot of exes coming back around, reaching out. I imagine that's also a symptom of Venus retrograde. Is it? Like
Yes.
exes coming back, or like what else is common to experience in Venus retrograde? Like what are other, obviously we know it's like the planet connected to like love and that kind of stuff, but what else do we need to know, Pam, about Venus retrograde?
Wait, I'm making Oh, oh wait. I
Hmm.
think Mercury retrograde actually ends soon. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
where is it? Because I have everything in my calendar and now I can't
It's
find
been
it.
for a while because I think like my long travel day back to the US was one of the first days of it, and I was like, "Oh no," because it can mess up travel, but everything went well,
Yeah.
no, that's not true. I had to book it. I actually did almost miss
Oh,
my
yeah, you
my
did have a lot of travel stuff.
um I didn't lose a bag this time, but I almost missed my
Oh,
second
wait,
flight.
that was
The
before that.
customs took forever, which I do want to tell that story because my intuition was crazy. But let's get back to that. What I don't know, what do we need to know about Venus retrograde?
Well, Venus retrograde. Um, I mean, I think the themes with a lot of retrogrades are the same, like
Yeah, like
kind
going
of like
backward.
reflecting,
Yeah.
yeah, on
Re.
yeah. Um, basically on like what that planet is in charge of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So Venus is all about like relationships and whether that's platonic or romantic. Um,
Mhm.
why am I can't hear myself. Hello? Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Um, and um, like appearances and all the things like that.
Yeah.
So I think that like with Venus retrograde, a lot of it can be, like old relationships resurfacing. Or you could be like reminiscing about them yourself, especially
Yeah.
because now Venus retrograded back into Pisces. So you could kind of have these like illusions of like past Venus type things.
Yeah.
Um and I think the important thing with it is to again like reflect, like be like, okay,
Yeah.
what was my lesson with this? What am I learning from this? What did I like from this relationship? Again, whether it's romantic or platonic. And what did I not like about it? What did I learn about myself? What did I learn about
Yeah.
others? Kind of thing. Um, so I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. This is a question for everybody, not just Pam, but Pam, you
Okay.
can answer it if you want to. But during retrogrades, Mercury or Venus, are you the ex that reaches out, or are you the ex that gets reached out to?
Neither. I used to have this one guy that would always reach out, but I haven't heard from him as much probably since my birthday last year. So it's
Mm,
coming up on almost a year, but I think it's because he knows he did some naughty things and
good.
he
He's
shouldn't
staying
have
out
done
of
them.
the way.
Yeah.
I usually have, I get reached out to, but I do think about sometimes I get tempted sometimes to reach out, but I'm good about it. I have the willpower. I consistently get reached out to it's usually one person, but they haven't for a while. But then I had a wild card come back and I can hear myself echoing. Do you hear that?
Yeah. It's like random where like sometimes,
It stops and then sometimes it. Okay, I feel like it's not doing it right now.
yeah.
I could try to go get my headphones too. We could pause for a second. But I had a wild card thrown into the mix. I can hear it's echoing really bad right now.
Yeah. It's weird because it sounds like I can hear outside.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's not doing it. Okay, I think it stopped. Every time I start going again. Sorry everyone, we're figuring out this new platform. Next time I'll make sure I've had my headphones. It was just getting in here and I'm in a new place and I unpacked fully and I don't know where everything is at the moment. But that's on me.
Okay.
Sorry. But I had a wild card come to the mix, a different one that was like
Ooh.
be together. I'll tell the well, he doesn't listen. He doesn't know that. Probably really bad at English now, hot guy.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said hot guy, the Bali boyfriend.
What would you say before that?
Oh, he was well, I wasn't gonna say who it was, and I was like, he doesn't listen to this, and his English probably isn't that good anymore anyways, because he doesn't practice it if he were to listen. But he started texting me I was like, I'm confused. Why are you texting me every day? Because I was just giving short answers. I wasn't really out. And I was like, hey, like, I'm not really interested in being like friends like this. I'm confused. Why are you talking to me every day? He's like, I think we should. It's like, what? We've been talking for months and months and months at all. Zero. Where is this coming from? Then I was like, it's Venus retrograde. Isn't that
Mercury
crazy?
retrograde, Venus
I'm like,
retrograde, all the things.
I'm sorry, but life just continues to send proof that
Yeah.
it's all real. And it's
Well,
funny to just
my exes, one is now married to like one of my family friends, so I wouldn't be hearing from him. And um also the last time we spoke, he told me that I was a slut and that he cued Taylor Swift, never ever we were never ever ever getting back together. It's like, okay. I didn't want to, but that's fine.
you're like, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
shucks.
Ah, dude, gosh darn it.
And then the other one lives in London, and we like
London.
kind of just had a clean break. So
Yeah. Let's go to London together. I got a boy in London. Let's go.
anyways,
And, but also it's funny that always unplanned, but like I'm back in my old home, like it's the house literally next door, but it has, like I basically feel like I'm back in my old home more or less in the same
yeah,
exact neighborhood. With my cats, whatever, at my ex's place. Obviously, so we're like talking more and stuff, communicating more because I'm like helping out. And it's been great and like best friend vibe. But it's just funny that happens that comes together during Venus retrograde too, but a very good, delightful way.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
healthy thing.
It doesn't
And
always
it's
have to be
interesting.
like bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
it's not
interesting.
always bad.
Yeah. Retrograde and eclipses. You said this eclipse season felt just like chill for you and you were like suspicious.
Yeah. So eclipse season, often what happens with eclipses is that they're eclipses are in it for like the long game, right? Like they happen in 6-month cycles. Um and like sorry, eclipses happen 6 months
Yeah,
apart.
every 6
There's
months. Yeah.
every 6 months, but they happen in like 18-month cycles. So
Mhm.
the change that you're feeling, whatever you're going to be like
Ooh.
experiencing or reflecting on, things like that, they happen in 18-month cycles. So it's not like, bam, eclipse, change, 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 change.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, it's like, and they're usually like slow over the last like 18 months. Kind of think about like, so the one that we just closed out is the Aries Libra axis. So
Mhm.
think about where Aries and Libra are in your chart and how those areas of your life have changed um
Me pulling
over
up
the last
trusty
18
old
months.
Fanny. Okay. Well, oop, I have an Aries moon, we know that. What house is
Yes.
it in again? Where's Aries?
I'm like, let me pull up your chart. Let me-
And then Libra is my
Oh, I
11th.
literally already have your chart pulled up.
Classic. Okay,
I was
so
looking at it before.
Aries, 5th house,
Not just
body and
like
emotions.
randomly. I'm practicing my astrology readings on Sadie. It wasn't just like
She
random
asked
looking.
me for permission first, by the way. She's not just like spying on me from the that'd be a great way to spy on someone though. Where's
Hmm.
Libra? You know everything about them.
Fifth house, Aries, 11th
Or
house,
midheaven,
Libra.
public image and vocation. Interesting.
Well, that's a big change for you over the last 18 months.
Yeah. When was 18 months ago? Like what month would that have been? A
Bro,
year and a
I
half
don't know.
ago? Okay, what
I
was
don't
6
even know what
months
month
ago?
we're in right now. Like,
October. 6 months ago was October.
and then April. So
So like
October
October
2023.
of 2023. That was almost the last time I stopped by here, which is crazy. Um, so it was pretty much exactly when I was in LA last.
Yeah.
Interesting. Trying to think about like in business and stuff like that. I was in Thailand coming back to LA before I stopped home for the holidays, but I don't know, I have to think about that more. That's interesting. I didn't realize the
Well, you
18 months.
changed all of your offerings.
Yeah,
Like you
definitely.
everything about like your business stuff has changed.
Yeah, completely.
And the fifth house is all like creativity, child like
Mm,
inner child, um children,
yeah.
things like that.
And I do feel like when it was like a combination of like jet lag, that being in Brazil for like Carnival was such a like it was like a it felt like I was just in a different dimension or something. Like it was just so amazing and beautiful and crazy and whatever. And it was just kind of like crashing out after all of that and it being like go, 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 so fast, constant. Um and I just felt like I had like a huge dark night of the soul when I arrived back, combined with like jet lag. I'm like, who am I? What am I
Yeah.
doing? What do I want to do? I like whatever. So yeah, that I had one of those eclipse seasons, which I only have every couple years, I feel like, but I felt like I felt it hard.
Yeah.
But it was also jet lag too, and like coming back after like such a crazy
Crazy.
life experience. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
anyways, crazy. A lot
Yeah.
going on. So
Mine
if
was
anybody's
really
been
chill.
feeling out of sorts, that could be why.
Yeah, definitely. Mine was pretty chill, but like except for just like moving and all
Moving.
that chaos. But then I was like, what are the next 6 months gonna look like?
Well, you're in a new place, so really you have no idea. It could be anything.
Could be anything.
Tell us
Um,
about the move in your first couple weeks there.
it was good. Um, I feel like I haven't really done anything yet. I feel like probably since the so I moved
Mhm.
and the day that
Florida.
I moved, yeah, the day that I moved, the clocks changed, so I ended up losing 2 hours, and I feel like that really
Oh,
threw
because
me
you crossed
off.
time zones and it was daylight savings. Yeah.
Yeah, so that really threw me, and I feel like since then, I wake up and I blink and the day is
Day's
over.
gone.
And I'm just like,
What the hell?
what the hell? But I'm just doing a lot. Like a lot of it before was just like unpacking stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, Now I'm just trying to find furniture that I can afford.
I got a house tour and Pam's place is so nice. It's so cute. I love she has a
Thanks.
loft and she has this really cute like
I do
outdoor
have a
patio
loft.
area. It's so nice. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for you. And you can take your
Thank
time
you.
getting it put together, like a little bit at a time.
Yeah. I know I keep having to like remind myself like it's only been like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't have to be put together. But to me, I'm like, it needs to be done right now. Otherwise I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Because there's just like boxes of stuff
It
everywhere
is,
and that
yeah, it's hard to live like, yeah, you want it to
stresses me out.
be. But how does the energy feel compared to
It feels
Nashville
so
and
much better.
here?
And I
Yeah.
think that like the beach, just like being near the ocean, I think does that. Like I think genuinely just like scientifically it
Yeah.
does that, the way your
They
body
used to send
responds.
the sick people, they were like, "Your prescription is to go to the sea." That was literally
Yeah.
I read a lot of old books back when I was a kid, and I was always like, "They're always just sending everybody to the sea." That was medicine back then.
Yeah.
So, I think it's true.
Um, yeah. Well, also just like the way that like the ions from
Yeah.
the ocean water interact with the ions in your body,
Mhm.
like it's all very, I don't know,
Yeah.
scientific and things.
And it's a
But
huge body of
um
salt water and salt. That's why salt cleanses. That's why we feel so good when we are in the ocean air,
mm,
feel the ocean breeze or in
yes.
the literal ocean. Makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's been good. The energy in Nashville is really dense, I think. I don't know if you noticed
Yeah.
that when you were there,
Um,
because you weren't there for very long, but it just feels like really heavy, at least to me.
I think, like, this sounds a little bit conspiracy theory-ish vibes, but it's not really, just hear me out. I think, like, not all of LA, but certain parts of LA are also like this because there is
Mhm.
dark, spooky side to the music industry, to Hollywood. Like,
Yes.
we know that stuff exists. So, like, I think
Yeah.
it would make sense for like, you can just feel like downtown LA, it feels like there's like a portal to hell there or something. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
such weird vibes, and you feel it in some places in Hollywood too, and I
Yeah.
feel like it would only make sense that Nashville would have parts of the city or just a general vibe that holds that too because it is a hub of the music industry,
It
and
is a
we
hub of music,
it has that vibe.
and there are a lot of, like, plantations there, like,
Yeah, that
things
history
like that,
too.
just,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
um, even, like, the zoo has a plantation on it, like, it's a house now and it's a farm. They have, like, all these farm animals on it, um,
Yeah.
but even that, like, you go and you, like, walk like, I've never walked through the house. There's a house that you can walk through, but it always creeps me out. It
Yeah.
literally has, like, the Haunted Mansion vibes every time. I
Is it
was
the
like,
original
I'm
or is it just a
not
replica?
going in there. It is not a replica. It
The
is the
original.
original. I'm pretty sure it's the original,
Yeah.
but it's just creepy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but it has a lot of that kind of energy. I
Yeah.
remember the first time I went, I was with my
Mhm.
youngest brother. He came to visit. Um, And we went to the zoo. It was, like, January. It was freezing. It started snowing while we were there. We were, like, the only people there. But, we, like, walked up because I was like, "Oh, I haven't been up here yet." I think it was actually the first time I had been to the zoo. And he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "I don't know. I think there's, like, farm animals back here." And he was
Mhm.
like we started, like, reading the plaque. He was like, "This is a slave plantation." And I was like, "At the zoo? No way. They wouldn't do that here."
This is a sacred place. You can't do the to the
This
zoo.
is I was like, "This is like a children's place,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Sure enough. But anyway, um,
You know
so
what
there's
was
a lot
crazy
like,
to
there's a
me?
lot of places like that in Nashville.
Yeah. I so the first location I went to in Brazil, the city is called Salvador, which a lot of people were like, El Salvador? I was like, no, that's a country. This is Salvador, Brazil, different place.
Yeah,
I didn't know about it before I was
yeah.
invited there, but I split my time for Carnival between Salvador and Rio de Janeiro. But Salvador has it was like one of the main hubs for them bringing over like to be slaves from Africa to Salvador. It was like the main point of like South America where they would bring people over. And so
Okay.
one the 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 cool very special part of Salvador is that it's it's like a little slice of Africa. Like the African culture there is
Mm,
very very strong. And so Carnival there was very different from it in Rio because it had this like infusion. It was really cool. It was a beautiful city. But there was like this one building that like it was never open, but it's like a famous market now, but it's like right on the water and it's this huge, just big open building. And it was like where they would hold like auctions, you know, like
that's
of people.
terrible.
And it was never
Yeah,
open, but it was like a famous like market now and people go to it. But like we were near it a bunch because it was kind of like a point to like go to other areas, whatever. You drive past it all the time. And it was just you just feel vibes, you know? Like you
yeah.
just and it was just
Like
kind
the
of like
pain, you feel it.
yeah, and just yeah, I always get like I always call them like they're like my sober but high thoughts where I start like going into the you know like it's almost like I can see the the past like around me or something. Like I'm imagining it and I'm seeing it happening and it just feels I don't know, it happens to me a lot in different historical places, not always when it's like negative. Like when I was at the what's it called in Greece? The amazing
The
building.
Parthenon?
Not the Parthenon, the
Well, you went
Acropolis.
to the Nashville one too, so you
Like
got that go.
when I was at the Parthenon. No, but when I was at the Acropolis, like I felt like I saw the battles going past me and I saw the philosophers on the steps. Like you know, it was like like that was really cool. But yeah, I just felt like that. It was really interesting. But yeah, that was like I didn't know that about Salvador. And one like really funny thing. So because it's so African, like most people are black there. And when I went to the I lost my luggage, so I had to go get some stuff from the market. And I picked out this like new body lotion that I don't know, it looks similar packaging to the one I had. I like the like gold glow whatever stuff. And I brought it home and I was like, what does it say on it? You know, because in Portuguese. So I like did the translator app and it said, and it said for beautiful black skin. Kitchen said that. And then I was like, is it different than and I was like, no, it's just because like almost everyone is black. So and I was like, that's really cool. It was like Nivea and they had like special packaging for this area. But I paused, I was like, is this not lotion for white skin? But it was just the labeling. But anyway, speaking of this was crazy and I posted on my story, but when I went from Colombia to Brazil,
Mhm.
my intuition said, pack your carry-on like you're not gonna get your checked bag because you're not. And I was like, nah. But then I was like, doesn't hurt. So I packed
I think
differently.
we talked about this.
Oh, we did record after I got there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we did. It was a long time. Sorry, guys. Never mind then. And that happened. But anyways, that's
Sorry,
why I had to
not
go get my lotion for for beautiful black skin. Um
just your just, for your what are you, Swedish?
Yeah,
Norwegian.
yeah, my Swedish Norwegian.
The whitest of white.
I was like, Well, the person coming to meet me here is black, so I can always give it to him.
Oh my god. Wait, okay, so really quick, 2 things. Well, actually 3 things. Just because that just made me think of it, but I went to the DMV today to, like, switch over, new resident
Yeah,
stuff, and she was
yeah.
like, I know they have to ask, but she was like, "What would you classify your race as?" And I was like, "Do you see me?" Like,
There was a time, I don't know what I was doing with my makeup or hair or anything differently. I always do the same thing my whole life. But there was a time, I think it was like my freshman year of college where for like a 6-month period, everywhere I went, people would be like, "What's your ethnicity?" And I was like, why is everyone asking me this all of a sudden? I have white skin, blonde hair, green eyes. I'm white. I'm a mashup of all the white European things, like almost everybody on this area of Wisconsin. It was so weird. And then I'd be like Swedish, Norwegian, Irish, and German. Like I'm just all the the whitest
the
things from
whitest.
like I'm not any sort of interesting, beautiful mix. I'm just the white
Yeah,
one.
yeah, just the white one.
Like I don't know, just kind
I
of
know
all
I
the
don't
white
really
ones
have
mixed
anything
together.
interesting either.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I'm
Um,
not like, yeah, I'm
but
not like half Latina or anything. I'm just all the white things mixed.
I don't know if this is, like, weird to say, but a lot of the time, and this it surprises me every time, but it's actually crazy how often I get asked this, but a lot of
Yeah.
people think that I'm Asian,
Oh yeah. I think you've said that before.
and
I
I
wonder
don't.
if it's like your face shape, maybe a little bit,
Maybe.
but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
That's
either.
so interesting.
And it was before the bangs too.
I was gonna say, is it the bangs? Do they add some sort of, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. But,
Just
okay,
I
wait,
mean,
to
I could
switch
kind
really
of guess
quickly.
you being I could see maybe if you were, like, half Asian. Maybe I could see it.
Yeah. Nope, just
Definitely
again,
not, like,
the
100%
whitest of
saying,
places, like,
like,
I
"Nope."
like Polish, Croatian, like, Ukrainian. I mean,
So
I'm
the
Italian,
languages
so
together.
but
Also, you
and a
have, like,
bunch
very dark hair,
I do have very
and
dark
it's
hair.
very shiny and straight. It's kind of
Yeah,
Asian-ish hair. You
I
know
know.
what? I think we figured it out. It's probably that. You kind of have Asian
But, okay,
hair.
wait.
Okay.
I have 2 other things. One,
Yes.
you said Salvador, not El Salvador, but Salvador. Did you have you seen that there's a the 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 place, I think it's the airport in Austria, has a special desk
For people
specifically for people that think it's Australia, that they booked a trip to Australia, but it's Aus
I've seen that. Could you imagine? How do you go that many steps
I don't
and
know. It
you
says it everywhere. On your ticket, on your phone,
and
on
it's
the
just a much
screen.
shorter word.
They
I get
say
that
it.
it's so similar. S Yeah. So, depending on where you're flying from, they're just in such different parts of the world. So, if you didn't get suspicious that this should be like a 16-hour flight, but it's only like a 6-hour flight or something. I don't know. I just feel
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
even when you book the ticket,
Like, when
like,
I
and you
book
look at the
tickets,
time.
I have to, like, quadruple if there's a word. Well, how do you say it? Like, 6 times, like, quadruple, but, like, 6.
Sec
Sextuple?
sec
Sextuple it? Check it, because I'm so anxious that I'm gonna book the wrong date, the wrong place, the wrong
Yeah,
whatever. I just that's crazy work to and
yeah.
that can you imagine you're all excited, you're like, "I'm gonna go surfing in Australia," and Austria is beautiful, but it's not
It
the
is
same vibe.
beautiful. Not the same. Very different.
Very different vacation.
Very different vacation. Yeah,
Oh my god.
but, Okay, and then my other thing was that I saw your watch, and it's
Mm.
giving early 2000s. You know those
I got a new watch.
Do you
Thank
know
you for noticing.
exactly what I'm talking about? Like, I think I
No,
had a watch like that when I was, like, 10. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in, like, those were so cool.
it's a
Do you know what
G-Shock.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think they just kept making those. Like, that's literally the watch that I had. Like, I'm not kidding.
You still
Do you
have
know
it
what I'm
somewhere?
talking
You
about? Do
should
you
find
remember them?
it.
No, I definitely don't have it anymore, but
If you're not watching, or if you're watching, you can see me shoving this in the camera's face. But if you're not watching, I
let
got
me
a
see.
new, like, hot pink watch, and it has a hot pink face, and it's the cutest thing ever. And it matches all, because I have like hot pink sunglasses. I have a hot pink claw clip. My bigger tote bag is like hot pink and orange. It matches all my accessories, and it makes me so happy.
Like
And
this.
it has a
These were the ones.
oh, they literally had that exact one at the store next to this one. Literally. But I liked the hat.
Baby G. That's what it was. The
Yeah,
Baby
these
G
were the baby
watches.
G's because I went, oh, are those for kids? And they were like, no, it's not. It is. They're like, this grown woman wants
Yeah,
a
no, I had this when I was like
watch.
10 years old.
It was still it was sitting next to this one in the case. Thank you for noticing my new watch. I'm really
This
proud of
Reddit
it.
literally says, anyone remember Baby G watches?
It said baby G on the case. Because I was like, oh, I love
Yeah.
that. Oh, it's for kids. And they're like, no. It's also for adults that can't grow up. I'm in touch with my inner child. Wait, now I want you to get one.
No, I like it.
I'm gonna get it for you. Send it to you. What's your address?
I won't share it on the. You know, that just made me
Oh
think
yeah,
of. Do you
don't
remember
say.
New Girl when she was on jury duty? And then
Wait,
they have to like block out her voice in the interview afterwards, and she's like, "I live at this," address." And they're all sitting on the couch watching it, like it's like a murder trial. And she was like, they were like, "Should she be saying that on the news?"
oh my god, I forgot about that part. That's so funny. Oh my god. Okay.
I feel like we've
We
had a
can't leave
lot of
out.
silly, goofy time, but do you have any specific silly, goofy times?
Okay, yes, there was one silly, goofy like joke that I thought we could talk about.
Okay.
It's a joke because it was a stand-up routine that I saw last night while I was my nightly Instagram scroll. That I just thought, um, but I just wanted to talk about this because it's such a smart bit from Sarah Silverman. You know who that is?
Mhm.
She's so funny. But it was just like a recording of her
Do
stand-up.
I know who like one of the most famous?
I don't know, not whatever. When okay, but it starts out and she's saying, we have to stop telling little girls that they can do anything. And you're kind of like, what? You know? You're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? But then she goes on to say, she's like, because it plants the seed in their head to question whether or not they can do anything. Because imagine you're about to take a shower and your friend goes, hey, I'm not going to read your diary when you go into the shower. And you go, well, wait a minute. Are you going to read my diary when I go into the shower? It makes you go, well, wait, why did you have to say that? If you, because they like little girls,
Oh, like, yeah, why couldn't I do anything?
yeah, it's like, what do you mean? Of course, like, there's no questioning of it. It's just matter of fact until you say, like,
So,
anything. And it's like, wait,
basically,
can I
moral of the
not?
story is start telling people you can't do anything.
Anything. No, I think we should still do that. But it got me thinking about, I have a way to bring this full circle for us.
Okay.
But I just thought it was funny because it would be like if like I was visiting you and I was like, oh, have a great shower. I'm not gonna read your diary when you go in the shower. You'd be in the shower like, is she fucking flipping through my journals right now? It's like,
I would
why
be
did
like,
you
you
say
have to
that?
sit right here the whole
Yeah,
time.
you'd be like, why did you bring that up? Like, like, right? Like, you'd be like, wait.
Yeah.
Um, but it got me to thinking about just being on like a spiritual journey, being on a healing journey, and how like there's it's no like it's great to be always consuming good stuff about healing and you can do anything and whatever. But I do still think there, and I did a little post about this about like how we need to just all be like kind of like letting loose and having more fun. And that's kind of our platform too, right? Like we always have silly, goofy
Yeah.
time. We want to be more lighthearted about stuff because I think a limiting belief that I came to have eventually that I'm working through now after working so hard on other ones is I have this sort of like sneaky subconscious like limiting belief around like, oh, like once I'm fully clear of XYZ or once I've fully healed this, then this will happen. Then I'll be happier with this part of my life or then XYZ, where it's like the
Yeah.
reality is there's tons of people succeeding at crazy stuff that are not healed at all or they're not thinking about it at all, right? Or it's just not a part of their life.
Yeah.
And it's not like an either or a trade-off or a once you're this amount of healed, then you deserve to have whatever it is, right? It's
Yes.
more about like it just got me thinking this. It just like the healing things we do, the spells we cast, the spiritual books we read, the personal development things we do. It's more like it's not so that we can have these things. It's so that we can enjoy having them. We can have them either way. It doesn't matter. But it's so we can
Yes.
enjoy having them. It's so we can keep them because we're not self-sabotaging because we have all these underlying things. And
Yeah.
I don't know. That was like a shift in perspective I had last night as I was like that was such like a good bit and it just got me thinking. I was like, yeah, like I'm not healing so that I can achieve either way. I'm healing so that I can enjoy the journey and once I've achieved that thing more and keep it and not self-sabotage or whatever all the things we do. So that was just
Yes.
the thought I had, but I thought it was such a funny way to deliver that really great message.
Yeah. No, I used to say this all the time. Um, because I had a friend who would say like you can't I forget how she would say it, but she would basically be like, you can't be loved until you love yourself.
Oh, like you
And
can
I
only allow yourself to be loved as much
hated
as you
that.
love yourself or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but it
Mhm.
wasn't phrased that way. Like it was
Oh,
like you
yeah.
can't until
Oh,
you do.
yeah.
And I was always like, I don't like that. I understand the like, if you don't love yourself, like how can you love somebody else? Like I understand the like thought behind that.
Yeah.
However, just because I'm having a hard time accepting myself, I am still worthy of love. I am
Yeah.
still capable of loving others. It just also means that like I have to be on this journey to like healing all of that
Yeah.
and like being
Yeah.
able to open myself up to that more. But that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that I am not worthy of being loved.
Say it again
And
for the
like
people
that,
in the
because
chat.
so many, it's such a big like message I
Yeah.
feel like that people say all the time. And I like
Yeah.
it really grinds my gears because you are
Yeah.
still, even if you are in the throes of your like biggest rock bottom, you could be like, the biggest asshole and
Yep.
like going through all of this emotional turmoil. And because of that, you are acting like an asshole. But it
Yep.
doesn't mean that like you are not worthy of being loved in that
Yeah.
moment.
I
In
mean,
fact, it actually means that you probably need to be held more.
yeah. I
Um, and it doesn't give you permission to like be an asshole.
right.
You
Yeah.
still need to be working on these things, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't or are not worthy of love.
Yeah. I mean, I think proof of that, I think most of us at some point in our lives have loved someone that doesn't love themselves, and so therefore they don't
Uh-huh.
treat us very well. So that's case in point right there. It's proof. Like I know I've certainly deeply loved someone before that didn't love themselves, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It can be a real struggle sometimes, but they weren't like they were they weren't they were not unworthy of my love at its core, but they couldn't receive my love. They couldn't enjoy my
Yes.
love. They couldn't be open to it because they didn't. It's almost like we have trouble believing that that love is real when we are the one that feels like we're struggling with self.
Yes.
So it kind of goes
Yeah,
back to like what I was saying. It's like, yeah, we can find a loving relationship, but we're not gonna enjoy it. We're gonna self-sabotage it if we're not there
exactly.
yet. So it's not that you can't have it. It's like if you want to enjoy it and get the most out of it and keep it, that's what it's for.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, side note, I got a new office chair and it has one of the footrest
What?
things.
I want one of those
Pull
so
that out really quick. I'm
bad.
very
It's cute
excited
too.
about
It's
it.
pretty. I love it.
Thank you. It took me a very long time to put together. And then it fell on my head. And then I was
Oh,
really angry.
next time we put furniture together, we put on a helmet.
You know, when like you're like already frustrated trying to fucking build something and then
Yeah,
it
and then at the last
like
fucking
it
straw,
slips.
you're like,
Yeah. Or like when your sleeve gets caught on like the door and you're already having a bad day and you're like,
that is when the Aries moon in me comes out where I'm just like I'll just scream. Like I can't. I'm just like I just have a complete and then I'm like, okay, okay, back to business. Let's figure this.
yeah,
But I just
exactly.
like it physically manifests outside of my body.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh my goodness. That was my
Okay,
silly
do you have any
goofy.
other?
Well, I don't know. I guess we're doing the catch up. I had the best time at
Okay.
Carnival in Brazil. It was so crazy and cool. I don't even know how to like talk about it. Like, I don't, all my, all the people I went with, they're like, we're going to go over here. And I'm like, really? That was exciting. But I'll have FOMO. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going over here.
Oh, my light
It
died.
was so, it was so cool. Like, I feel emotional because it's just like when there's like people that come together and there's live music playing and there's people dancing and there's just joy and there's everyone's dressed up in their outfits and it is like a big party. There's people drinking there, once in a while you see a little fight break loose, whatever. Like, yeah, like that happens. But like at the essence of it, it's just like joy and celebration, and it was just the coolest experience. Like you go to they're called blocos, which I would describe as parades, but everyone's a part of the parade, so it's just kind of like a moving party. And there's these big floats where live bands are playing on the float, like they're giant. There's like full fucking orchestras on these giant floats, and they're just moving really slowly, and everyone's just like dancing and vibing along and singing along as it's like moving down the street. So there's just like thousands and thousands of people in the street, and there's these floats spaced out, and people will be like, oh, we're gonna go to this float, or we're gonna go to part of this blocko today. There's blocko for neighborhoods around her. There's people on stilts. Everyone's dressed in like, I mean, there's like I would describe them as like rave outfits. Some of the people like
Hmm.
it's like basically like bathing suits and like fishnets with like sneakers,
Yeah.
and covered like I didn't have like a lot of like special outfits because I mean I had plenty of bathing suits, but like, I live out of my suitcase. Glitter, so I was like glittered up a lot of the days. I bought a couple like little like head things to wear and dress up as. In Salvador, we went to they're called like yeah, something like that. They're basically like all night parties they're like all inclusive. They were safer to do than being in the street for the parade, but the parade goes past them. Um, so we did like two of those and you go and it's just like crazy. There's like a massage chair section. There's people if they want your hair and makeup done. I was like, I didn't know any of this was gonna be here. Why did I do all my own hair and makeup? And everyone has like a matching shirt and you like customize it. So the first day I like made my own into a skirt, and then the second one they had like it was fancier and you could get your shirt all like customized and whatever made into a shirt or a skirt or whatever. Um and yeah, just like live performances. My favorite was just like in Salvador, like we were walking up this one street and there's just this basically like a I would describe it as like a drum line and they're just like playing. Oh my god, and I was just like happy crying all the time. I was like, I can't believe I'm experiencing this. This is so cool. And then when we went to Rio, I went to the famous huge parade. I haven't even posted anything about that. I'm so overwhelmed by how insane it was. The floats. So it's like so samba comes from Brazil. Samba is this like apparently it's like one of the best like sort of like Latin ballroom style dances there are. They're
Hmm.
crazy fast. I don't know if you've ever
Yes.
seen the ladies in the big like feather sparkly like bikini outfits and they're just going with their feet, it's like crazy. So there's these samba schools and it's like the big famous parade for carnival. It's like a competition. So all these different schools make these huge, extravagant, intricate floats. There's moving parts, there's lights, there's water features, there's fire, like it's all themed. I want to do a post because I recorded a little bit of all of them that we made it through of like which zodiac signs or which float because I felt like there was some that were like really like Pisces coded or like Aries coded, like fun. So
Yeah.
that's how I want to share that. So I need to put that to edit that together. But I can't even describe it. Like you go to it's like it's like a arena stadium except there's just a big but it's straight down because there's a big road down the middle and like it was just the craziest experience. And then there's all the ladies in those outfits go in between the floats doing those dances and stuff and oh my gosh, it was just so cool and so crazy. Um and yeah, it was just Brazil. I was there a whole month, but it like went by so fast because it was like
Hmm.
out every night, all day, every day, trying to fit in regular touristy stuff with um all the carnival festivities. My friend was like, "Okay, tomorrow we're gonna go to a hike, and then after that we have to go to the samba this and that." And I was like, "I feel like I could be okay without the hike." Oh, by the way, this entire time I'm so sick, like a sinus infection, and I'm like, I can't. I just like couldn't stop or I probably had allergies. I couldn't stop sneezing in Rio. I was just
Oh my
constantly
god.
sneezing. I think I was allergic to something. Yeah, because as soon as we left Rio, I forgot about that. As soon as we left Rio, it stopped, and I was completely fine, like in an instant. We took a bus to a different city after Carnival, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fine." I think those were allergies. I was allergic to something in Rio, but anyway,
Yeah.
exhausted. I was, I'm so tired, but I'm like, "Ugh, okay, I'm gonna go on the hike. I haven't, I'm in Rio. Like, let's just go. We hike. It was a sunny day. We hike all the way up this fucking, and then we're in a cloud. Which cool, but you can't see anything. We could be on the ground. It's just cloud, and you can. It was interesting. You could feel it. You were just wet up there because it was a cloud.
Yeah.
So pissed.
I always think those videos are so funny. So many people will post those on TikTok and be like, this is the mountain I'm climbing today. And they're like supposed to be these beautiful, beautiful views when they get up there. And then,
Yep.
um,
It's supposed to be a view of the entire city,
yeah.
the ocean, Christo, whatever, Christ the Redeemer, I didn't go up to see him close
Hmm.
up, but you could see him from almost everywhere. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was so funny. But anyways, it was all amazing. And I had a really hard time coming back down to earth but it was
Yeah.
so fun. And yeah, it was just joy. And it was just, yeah, like, yeah, the culture there it was just so cool. Yeah, it was amazing. It was the best.
Yay. I'm
Um,
happy you had a good time.
yeah. But now I'm back in LA and I've been back for like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, just about, which is crazy. But it also feels now that I'm settled, it feels really good to be back here. Like, it definitely feels like home, like the energy
Yeah.
where I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna leave." Like, I'm happy, but I'm
Yeah.
happy to be with my cats. I'm happy to be in my old neighborhood. I Yeah, it just LA is fun because, like, yeah, like, there's something to say about, like, the energy of people kind of always wanna see what they can how you can give them a leg up or,
Yeah.
they're not interested in being your friend if you don't have something to offer, if you're not an influencer or connected or whatever in some
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely happens here, but it's also, like, almost everyone's here because they have, like, a
Yeah, the cat.
or there's a baby in the background. But almost everyone's in LA because they have, like, a delusional dream and they're going after it, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, like, I I feel like being back in this energy and I'm not even in LA. I haven't really gone into the city yet. I will to see friends, but, um, even just being adjacent, like, I just made me remember, like I was like, "Damn, I used to be so much more delusional. I'm gonna be more delusional."
Oh,
Like yeah. I know I'm already pretty delusional, but I was like, I used to, and I said my word for this year was outrageous. And I feel like I was like, when I lived here, I was so outrageous. And you know what? I
yeah.
manifested outrageous things. Like it never ended up working out. But like when I lived here, like I signed a contract to co-star in a reality television show about witches living in LA. That's crazy,
Yeah.
like, it never got made, but I was like, "That's the kind of stuff that's always at your fingertips around here," you know?
Yeah.
Fun.
I
And
love LA. I miss it.
yeah, so do you wanna move here next with me?
No.
No. You're like, "I just should know."
Knowing the amount of space that I can have that I'm in right now
Yeah,
for the rent that I'm paying,
yeah,
no.
fair
But
enough. I know, I was like, I don't wanna get a place here again."
to
Well,
also live 8 minutes by the beach to the beach,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, for
but
sure.
I do miss living there. Like,
Yeah,
but
I
I
just
also
love
don't miss the
it.
traffic.
Yeah. I hated it when I had a in-person job.
Yeah.
I lived in LA, and it was in Santa Monica. Did not love it here then.
Oh my god, I did that too.
I didn't
I
know.
used to live in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and then, I worked in Venice.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, it was basically the same.
I would sit at the same light. There was one day where I was like, "What
Oh,
if I just took a
I'm
nap?"
having a visceral reaction to this.
Yeah.
That's
It would
right there.
cycle through, like, 7 or 8 times every day where I
Yeah.
would cycle through the same light, and I'm
Yeah.
just still sitting there, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What if I just took a little
Yeah.
snooze?"
Yeah. And I like being LA. I learned that I don't actually like living in big cities. I like being next to them. So like Redondo Beach,
Mm,
it's very small town coded. When you go to Target or Trader Joe's, the parking's easy.
yeah.
Like it's chill. People say hi. This is what I noticed. This is kind of silly goofy. I'm from Wisconsin.
I was
It's
just
not
gonna
very
say,
walkable, but everyone always, everywhere you go, is very smiley, always says hi, always says morning, or just starts casual conversation when you're in line with them, whatever. And then, I moved to California and like in the city of LA, not like that at all, right? So, and then I have been traveling for 2 years. It's not like that in other countries. People aren't like it's a little bit different here and there, but most people aren't smiling at you on the street, definitely not saying hello. And then I got back here and I'm going for walks every day at the beach. And everyone because here it's very small town vibes. And everyone's like smiling at you, making eye contact when you walk past them. And at first I was I was like confused. But then I was like, oh, that got cultured out of me. That's so sad that like, cause I used to be the one doing that to everybody where I'd just be like, good morning, good afternoon when I walk past
yeah,
them.
like a
But I was
dog.
like, I was like looking at people like, what are they doing? And I was like, oh, I got that mashed out of me in my travels and stuff. I got to start doing it
Yeah.
again. Because I was like, oh, like my energy is really good. Everyone's saying hi to me. I was like, no, that's just being back in Redondo. Everybody's just
Yeah.
sweet and neighborly here.
Yeah.
It was such a funny realization because I was like, I used to be that way and now I'm not, which, maybe is a good thing sometimes in other countries. Don't need to be saying hi and smiling at everybody. But yeah, it was just funny. It was a funny realization. I was like, oh, that was weirding me
Yeah.
out the first couple of days. It was like reverse culture shock. I was like, oh, what do you guys leave
Yeah.
me alone?
No, I'm from New York. We never did that. That
Yeah,
was not a thing.
exactly.
And then I lived in LA. That was not a thing.
No, but it
Even when
ain't
I lived in
matter.
Providence, like that was not a thing. Um, well, I was living in Hollywood, so
Yeah.
that wasn't
Oh,
happening.
other thing when I lived like next. I would live like Koreatown adjacent, and then I lived in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Um, and not
Um,
a thing.
and yeah. But like it is a thing here. And so I'm like,
I believe it. I feel like when you're by the beach, everyone's happier and friendlier. Straight up. Everyone's like, stop. Sorry, that is not my kid.
I
There
thought
is
it
a
was a
child in
cat.
the building. There is a child in the building, and it's not mine.
Um, well, I don't
Well, that
remember what I
wraps
was
us
gonna
up
say.
for this giggly, which can't top that. Oh
Um,
my gosh.
well, I had a couple like random silly goofies.
Yes, let's hear them.
Um, well, I just kind of think it's cool and I like wanted to share it.
Yeah.
Um, I know you haven't been on TikTok a lot recently, so I don't know if you've gotten on this side of TikTok at all or if
Yeah,
you
I
like
have.
the Hunger Games at all anyway.
Oh, I
Um,
read the book. I've never seen the movies.
really? Oh, we'll have to watch them.
Oh my god. Yeah. You know what else is like that? I read the Twilight books, but I've never seen those movies.
I've never read or seen Twilight, and at this point, I don't want to.
Yeah, they're good. I read them years ago, probably, but maybe more than that. Um, but I just well, no, that's her name, Stephanie Meyer. She's racist, right? Didn't she say some weird stuff about how um like what did she? I don't want to misquote her, but it came off very racist.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh,
I didn't.
I think I don't want to say it, but it was something along the lines of like people questioning her, like, no, like vampires of color. And she said something like,
Oh,
oh, well, when you become a vampire, like you're perfectly beautiful. And they were like, so you think perfect beauty is no melanin? Like it was like that kind of vibe. I don't want to misquote that, but it was essentially the like way, like she didn't straight up say that, but it was kind of like you went, huh?
huh?
You went, huh? But it did piss me
Interesting.
off that her vampires were sparkly in the sun rather than turning into dust. That doesn't make sense. That's not, you can't just go against
I never
all
understood
Disney
that.
vampires. That is such that I'm getting fucking heated about it right now. That is such a stupid detail to put in your book. Everything else about the books was good, but why did they sparkle? Also, why did they go to high school? That doesn't make sense
What
either. It
if they
doesn't
go
make
to high
sense.
school?
They're
Well, to be
100.
fair, Steph and Salvador went to high school in the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, but they
Um,
were old enough. I mean, if
but
you're a teenager, you can pass as a 20-year-old. They didn't have to go there for cover. I feel like I
yeah.
kind of I can argue that away, but anyways. Sorry, back to the
Well,
TikTok and Hunger Games.
there is this teacher.
Mhm.
Um, I can't remember her name right now, but if you know who I'm talking about, you'll know who I'm talking about. There's this
Okay.
teacher on TikTok. She's a middle school teacher, a English teacher, and she's been reading the Hunger Games books with her students. and
Mm.
she, like, records the lessons, obviously not showing the students, she just shows
Yeah.
herself. But it's such an open discussion, and it's so, I think if I had any English classes like that where we spoke about books that way, I
Mm.
would have loved reading a lot earlier. Like, I would have actually read the books that we were assigned to read. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so, I just like, I like, I commented there was 2 times I commented on her, um, videos because okay, there's no spoilers anymore, these books have been out for too long,
Yeah.
but in Catching Fire, Mags sacrifices herself,
Mhm.
and she's this, like, old woman, blah, 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 the whole 9, and just, like, the way that she was I don't know. So I was like not me, like, crying and, like, answering your questions. Like, I'm, like, sitting there watching her ask the students these questions, and I'm, like, crying, remembering how it felt to read about Mags and, like, answering her prompts. And then I was like, "This is my favorite class." Like,
My favorite class. I love being
this
here.
is my favorite English class. But I just so that's been, like, a really fun thing for me on the internet these days. It's
I
like
love that.
I'm gonna go to English class.
Have you seen the
Um,
girl that recorded herself reading all the Harry Potter books for the first time? Like, it was, like,
she's one of
relatively
my
recently.
favorite people on the internet. When she
I love, like, when,
my
like, she
favorite
just
I'm
saw
gonna do
people
it
that
with
are, like, in
this
the
one.
coffee shop.
When she's when she reads, I think it's Prisoner of Azkaban, when she does this, she finds out that Scabbers is, um oh my god, I can't remember his name right now, I
Peter
don't know why.
Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew, and she goes, "That's the book." She's like, "You're telling me?" And everyone oh my god, it's so funny. She's so funny to me.
Oh, yeah, it's
Um,
so real, and, like,
yeah.
I always love reading the comments because everyone's really good at not doing spoilers, for her. I mean, now she's probably, like, long done with all of them, but, like, they'll be like, "Oh, no, if she feels this bad for this book, just wait till she."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, that's actually not the one that's gonna hit the hardest, I'm sorry to tell
Yeah.
you."
Yeah.
It just goes down from here. Every
Yeah.
book are harder to read.
Yeah, seriously. But, so that was just, like, my
I
fun
love
little,
that. You have
you
English
know,
class to look
that
forward.
kinda shout out, yeah. Um And then also on the topic of classes, I started taking another astrology class.
Mm.
Um, but this one is like live, so it's nice because you get to ask questions and things. And also it's like the part of astrology that like actually really excites me. It's about like the myth and everything behind
Oh,
all the
yeah.
astrology. There's like all like the asteroids and everything. Like that is what's really exciting about astrology to me that like I've been dying
Yeah.
to get to where like I'm really impatient about like having to
Like, learn
learn
the
the
basics.
basics. I wish I could skip it and just get to like all of this stuff and like really dive
Yeah.
into this. But so we were talking about asteroids the other day. And they we have like a Q&A class where we could just like ask everything. And this is a two-parter. So part of it is just like kind of funny where we were talking about one of my favorite stories in Greek mythology is Cassandra.
Mhm.
I don't know if you're familiar with her story.
I don't think so.
Um, but so Cassandra is a was a princess of Troy and
Okay.
she was a seer. She was a psychic. She would have all of these visions. She was a priestess of Apollo, and then she was cursed so that no one would ever believe her visions. So she could always see the future, but no one would believe her.
Mhm.
Um, and so she predicted the downfall of Troy. She kept telling her brother, Paris, don't do this, like just give back Helen. It's not that serious. We'll find you another girl. Like, it's not worth this 10-year war that is going to
Yeah.
destroy our city and that we will lose.
Yeah.
And no one believed her. She
It's
was
typical. Men not believe.
assaulted. Exactly. Like, all of these things. She, like, saw her assault, couldn't do anything to stop it. Like, all of these things. It's a really, really
Some
powerful and, like, crazy story, but
tragic. Yeah.
her story is, like, one of my favorites. And so there's an asteroid named after her. And obviously I looked up where it was in my chart, and it is in Pisces, um, conjunct my Saturn.
What does that mean?
Um, so conjunct is when planet, asteroids, whatever it is like on top of each other, basically. Like they're
Mm.
right next to each other.
And what's the
Um,
energy of that placement for you?
so for me, it's like I was telling her, the teacher, I was like, Cassandra's one, because we were like, oh, do you have a favorite asteroid? Blah blah blah. And I told her, Cassandra's mine is like one of my favorite stories. And for me, and I told her where the placement was, and I was like, and that's like one of my hardest things as a psychic medium, is actually believing in my own gifts and
Mm.
like trusting myself and believing in myself. And
Yeah.
then she was like, that's really beautiful. And then she got like really emotional about it. um, but so that's like the kind of like hee hee, not like really funny, but like kind of silly funny part
Maybe
about
we'll
it,
have
where I
a
was like, wait, I didn't mean like,
I'm sorry I made you cry.
but
I didn't do.
but thanks for teaching this class. Um, but the other part of this really long-winded story is that I I guess I didn't even, like, realize that myth and asteroids could, like, be such a big part of an astrology practice, until I
Mm.
saw her talking about it.
Mhm.
And so this is just, like, one of those little PSAs about why it's so important to share to share your light, to share your story, because you don't know who it will inspire and, like, what it
Yeah.
will, like, do for other people. Um, and yeah, so that's just that little tidbit about
Pam
that.
service announcement.
A Pam service announcement. Okay, and then just to cruise through these, my last one is kind of a
Okay.
silly story. I already told you, but I had my last mediumship mentorship session with
Mm.
Diana, who was on our podcast last year. It's about the
Mm.
like um death in the underworld. I can't remember what I
Yeah,
called
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it.
What
It's
about
really great.
starter? No, no.
Um, and, so I was talking to her about it, and it was, like, right after I had moved, and I was like, like, "It's been pretty good, like, nothing really weird has happened here yet." And then
Oh,
I
yeah,
told
yeah,
her
yeah.
about these dreams I was
Like,
having. I was like, "I do think that there's a lot of, like, inner child work that I need to do, though, because I keep having dreams about it." And she was like, "Huh, like, why do you think that is? Like, what's happening in your dreams?" And I was like, "I keep finding
mm,
these random little kids, and I keep having to, like, help guide them to where they're going, and, like, they're lost, and I need to help guide them." And then she just looked at me and she was like, "That is not your inner child.
those are dead.
Those are
Dead.
those are little ghost babies. Those are little ghosty children that are having you escort them and help them in the spirit world in your dreams."
You're a psychopomp.
And I was like, "Oh, me, nothing weird has happened
Nothing.
here. It's been so good."
No
Like,
paranormal activity over here. Just dreaming
no
about dead
paranormal
children every
activity.
night.
Just
So, no,
I
that's
was like, "I don't
good.
know." And she was like, well, first she was like, "Well, what do these kids look like?" And I was like, "I don't know, they're different every time." Like, she
Clue
was like,
1.
"Yeah,
Clue 1 that this
no,
is
babe,
not your inner child.
that's
Looks nothing like you.
that's not you." Yeah, and I was like,
Oh my god.
so
I the same
those
thing
are
of I was also telling you this already, but for anybody, it's a little bit scary, but if you haven't watched it yet or if it's been a while, I just rewatched Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and it's so,
yeah,
so, so good, and, like, I don't know everything about everything when it comes to witchcraft, but in my opinion, it's very well written. I think witches wrote it or they had really great like, they had real witches, like, um, collaborate on it and, like, fact check stuff because it's just so fun and, um, it's about a coven that's seen as and, there's different deities, there's different witches that they call on different episodes, all these different things. It is scary, but it's the right amount of scary for me because I don't like too scary. But it's so,
yeah.
so, so good. But whenever they do astral projection, somebody has to keep an eye out and they have to be careful because the psychopomps are little sparrows and they're like, if they start to gather, they're because you're in their world, they're gonna come take your soul that has astral projected. They're gonna take you there. You have to be careful.
Ooh,
That was so
yeah.
like if you're astral projecting and you see the birds start gathering, like you need to go back to your body. And they're the psychopomps that take you. But they're like, wait a minute, no, you have to come with us. You don't get to hang out here. So it made me think of that. But it's such a good show if you haven't watched it. It's on Netflix.
It
This
is on
episode's
Netflix.
not sponsored
It
by Chilling Adventures of
and Netflix.
and Netflix. Also, I didn't love how that ultimately ended, but it's fine. Everything up
Mm.
to it is 10 out of 10, and I understand it's really hard to wrap up a really great show, so I give them some flexibility on that, but I didn't love that. If anyone wants to
I don't know
discuss
how
I
it
won't
ended
spoil it. I can tell you
because
after, but
it got
for
too
nobody to
scary
watch.
for me. I would also keep watching it at nighttime, and I can't. It was too scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty the first time I watched it, I was pretty scared. This time I had already watched I mean, it had been years, but I had watched it once before. It's
But
okay.
you know, so you like know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have trouble with, like, because I used to have night terrors. So I do have trouble with anything that's like demons or possession or things like that.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, but not I don't know. But I did okay with it. There was a couple episodes in the beginning with like Lucifer and him being scary and whatever. But then
I
after
think
that,
that's when I tapped out. I was like,
yeah.
"Nope."
Well, the first thing he's manifests as scary goat man and he's very scary.
Yeah.
But then the some prophecy is fulfilled and he gets to come back in his angelic form. So as like the archangel Lucifer that because he's a fallen angel. And then he's
Yeah.
a really sexy hot guy.
I
So it
was
gets
gonna
a
say,
little
did
bit
they
more
make him just like a
interesting.
really hot guy? Let me
Oh my
see.
god. It's so funny because that actor I started following because of that show, and he plays Lucifer, it's a very serious he's a serious, scary, intimidating guy. So I started following him, I'm like, he's so fucking hot. And then on his Instagram, he's so weird and silly goofy. He's so funny. He's like one of my favorite people on Instagram. He doesn't create as much content like that anymore, but like he's so, so, so weird and funny. Um, and then I rewatching it and like having been following him for years now and knowing his personality, it was a little bit
Couldn't
hard to
take it
take him
out.
seriously in that role. I was like, I don't know, man. I can't really take you seriously because I know you're such a fucking goofy weirdo.
Okay, to be fair, his face doesn't look like he could be a scary person.
Yeah. He does a
Do you
good
know what I
job
mean?
of
Like, just, like,
yeah. No,
looking
he's
at
got quite the,
looking
like,
at
kinda, like,
this,
glare
he
grimace thing going on in the show. He does play like, the first time I
okay.
watched it, I was like, "He's cast so well, he's so hot, he's so sexy." whatever. But then after following him for a long time, I was like, I can't take him seriously in this role anymore because he's so
To
goofy.
me, he looks like he would play the, like, hometown guy in a Hallmark Christmas movie. Like, that's the energy it's
Really?
giving.
No, he's not. He's
Yes.
like he's Australian. He has an Australian accent, like in real life, and
Yeah.
he's still a sexy, sexy man. But he's really weird and goofy. But that's like my greatest value in a man is weird and goofy. So
Yeah. Not in, like, a hater way, in just a,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. I can see that too.
he just doesn't seem as, like, a scary person.
Yeah. Well, no, he's not. He's a great actor because he was really great in that role before I knew his
Yeah.
personality. Um, but yeah, anyways, love him. His name's Luke Cook, and I love him on Instagram. Highly for a happy follow. He doesn't post as much
Oh
anymore.
my god, they were at Wigwam.
What's Wigwam?
Wigwam is this hotel in Arizona, but on Warp Tour, you have an off day in Arizona, and so you stay at Wigwam, and
Mm.
it's really pretty, it's hot as hell, but it's, sorry, I'm looking at his Instagram. Um, he just
His
posted
wife's
from
still pregnant
Wigwam.
with their third child. Very cute. He just
Cute,
seems
good for
like a
them.
great guy, and I love him. A little jealous of
Um,
his wife, but it's fine.
but anyway, this is a Wigwam plug. If you wanna give us a free
This
stay,
episode
let
sponsored
us
by Wigwam.
know. It's like a beautiful resort. It was just like that was one of my favorite off days that I've ever had.
I love that.
Wigwam has enchanted guests since 1929.
Ooh.
It's 440 acres of lush desert oasis.
Lush and desert are usually words I think of. But if it's an oasis,
It's
okay.
beautiful. It's beautiful there,
Oasis, yeah.
honestly. Um, anywho's, goals.
Anywho's, it's so nice to be back. We're back, baby. We
I
have
know.
lots of fun episodes in the making. We're testing this new platform, so be patient with us if we have any technical glitches or anything in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
But we're back for season 2. Get ready for more giggly witches. We love you guys. Make sure
Hooray!
you're following us at Giggly Witches. We're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and then you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok to stay up to date. New episodes every Thursday. If you have requests for topics for us to cover, or someone that maybe you want to be a guest if you're listening, or you have a suggestion that we could reach out to, let us know. We love hearing from you guys. Send us a DM, or you can
Yes.
send us a DM. I was like, you can email us, but I don't check that email. Honestly, I don't have it set up.
I do.
Well, you can email Pam if you
I
want.
always check it.
Giggly@gmail. If it's not, I need to like add it to my thing that regularly gives me notifications. Once in a while I look at it. But I am Sadie Olson on Instagram and TikTok. I have a YouTube Magic with Sadie where I have guided tapping videos, a couple meditations, some like step-by-step spells you can do. I'm dreaming up new content for that. So I'd love to hear from you, things you'd love to see on my YouTube channel. And I'm not really promoting anything right now. I'm kind of working on some behind the scenes projects, but I still have a quiz that you can uncover your and you can also get my free scripting guide if you want. So that's all in the show notes. And Pam, what's going on with you?
Velvet Snake Oracle on TikTok and Instagram. Although I guess apparently on April 5th they're redetermining if we're gonna lose TikTok or not. I guess
Okay.
we'll see. Yeah. So
I haven't
follow me
really
on
been
Instagram.
maybe it's just floating away slowly. I don't know. The last time
Yeah.
it lasted what, like 4 overnight, it went away. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was just a publicity.
100%. But that's a topic for a different day.
Mm.
A different kind of topic. Um, so anyway, follow me on Instagram because we'll be there.
Yes.
You can join my newsletter, the Lunar League, as Sadie demonstrated earlier,
Sure.
you get exclusive
Don't
first
be enough less.
access
Join Pam's newsletter. My slogan now.
to like first dibs on new offers and all kinds of fun things. I used to do collective readings on my Instagram, and now they're exclusively going to my
Ooh.
newsletter only. Um so if you want those, sign up. All of that stuff is in the show notes. And other than that, I've got mediumship readings again,
What?
old astrology readings
Sorry.
coming soon to the
Spoiler
public.
alert! I don't know which things are public and which things are in the Lunar League. I don't know the difference. I haven't been paying very much
Um,
attention.
that's how you know Sadie has not been reading my emails.
I have been reading them. I just did. I blocked out the part where you said this is only for the email list. I've been reading them because I know that they're there.
That's okay. I always am like hoarding Sadie's emails because she always has such good stuff in her emails that I want to like actually read them, but I never have like the brain capacity to read them. So I have like 17 emails from Sadie that I fun read because I'm just like, well, I want to be able to like really read
Yeah.
this. So I'm
That
always like, I'm gonna
reminds
go back to
me,
it.
actually, my Substack has been popping off lately. So if you don't follow me on
Mm,
Substack, I email like via Substack more like the like blog style versus if you're on my email
yeah,
list, I'm usually um making sure you know about my latest offerings and stuff like that. Both of them have like inspiring messages and whatever, but I'm putting more energy into my Substack in the at
amazing.
least for now future. So that's also in my show notes. In my like
Yeah,
singular link, but I love Substack.
yeah. I just made a Substack. I haven't written anything because I feel like I'm not really good at writing, so I'm trying to figure out
I love
like
your writing.
thanks. I just
Also,
write
my
how exactly how I talk. So,
I was just gonna say my Substack started getting more in-app followers, so not from my Instagram or something, just like the algorithm on Substack. When I just started writing stuff and barely editing it, and it's literally just the word wave thing, it's just flow of consciousness. And like, I'll go back a
yeah,
little bit. But when I stopped trying to make them overly like, ooh, this needs to be like
polished.
in a magazine or something, and I just started like stream of consciousness writing and then like maybe zhuzhing it slightly but barely. And one, it takes a lot less time, so it takes up less of your energy, and then yeah, I started getting way more just like in-app organic growth. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, amazing.
That's what people
So
want to
I have
read,
a
and
few
yeah,
ideas of things that I want to talk about on there already. I just am trying to like flush out what I
yeah,
actually want to say about it. But on
yeah.
there, um, I wanted to give it like a cute name, so I gave it Words of a Witchling, which is from
I
the
love that.
Throne of Glass series. If you know, you know Witchling.
I don't know,
Um,
but I still love it.
that's one of the series that I want
I
you
need
to
to
read.
read.
But that's like it's a
No,
very long
all these.
commitment,
You know
so
what? I should do it while I'm here though, because
yeah,
reading. I'm gonna go to the library here.
it'll
I
be
like
nice to
reading
like read on the
physical
beach
books.
and
I
stuff.
hate reading on my Kindle app on my phone. I hate it. I don't
I
finish
do
any
too.
of the
I like
books
the
on
physical.
there. I start
Oh my
them.
god, I just finished also
What?
House of Flame and Shadow. So if
Ooh.
anyone's read the Crescent City series, I just finished that. Well, I know there's more books coming, but I just finished that. And then I read Sunrise on the Reaping, which is the latest like prequel for the Hunger Games. I read it in
Oh,
less than 24 hours.
that's how
Oh
I
my
read books.
god, it was so good. I
I'm
love
gonna have
Suzanne Collins.
to.
Shout out. This is a Suzanne Collins Stan account.
Hell yeah,
I love you.
love you,
So
Suzanne.
good. And just like the messaging behind it and
Mm,
compared to also like what's going on right now and just the way she always
mm,
has such a strong message. Like she
yeah.
pointed out in this series that in Sunrise on the Reaping, if you don't know, is Haymitch's Hunger Games. So they go through Haymitch's whole Hunger Games. Oh my god, it was so good. And his is insane because it's the 50th quarter quell.
Mhm.
So it's the 50th Hunger Games, which means it's a quarter quell, which means that it's like extra weird and crazy.
Mhm.
Um, it's the same way like this Catching Fire, the second Hunger Games book is the 75th Hunger Games, so it's a quarter quell, which is why they reap from the existing pool of victors. Hey Mitch's 50th quarter quell was double the amount of tributes. So instead of 24 kids, it's 48. Crazy.
Wow.
Not a spoiler, obviously. He wins because he's alive and mentoring
Right.
Katniss and Peeta, but
Yeah.
oh
Wow.
my god, it was good.
Did you have your
Anyway,
books?
so I just read that, so if anybody would like to talk about it, please.
Slide into our DMs. Not me, I didn't. For other stuff. You
um,
wanna talk about the chilling adventures of Sabrina? You can talk about DMs. Or what was I?
um,
I'm redoing The Artist's Way right now, which is very fun.
my friend Salma's reading that right now. It was
Yeah.
really weird. She told me you were reading it. She told not that you were reading it. She told me that she was reading
I
it.
was like, "Where's Venus?" I read it open up on story.
And then you had posted like right after I hung up with her of her telling me you had posted
Yeah.
that you were reading it. And then some random girl on Threads posted that she was rereading it.
You
And
know
I was like,
why I, like, started it and I didn't even think about it, and then I was like, this is, like, because to me, like, how Aries season manifests for me is, like, I just become a manic artist, like, I just wanna, like, make art all the time during Aries season,
mhm,
and so, I was like, it makes so much sense to do Artist's Way during Aries season.
yeah,
It's about, like, rediscovering your, like, creative spark and learning how to be, like, kinda, like, creative on command or not just basically not be at the mercy of, like, the muses, not having to be like, "Oh, I hope I'm inspired today," but being able to just, like, have structure and discipline, and, I also love her message around, like, the starving artist trope or the broke artist trope or the sad artist trope, and she's like, "No, it doesn't have to be any of that. You can be thriving, abundant, happy,
yeah,
sober, all the things." Because her story is that, like, basically she was just an alcoholic and she was really successful, but she was, like, miserable, and she was like, "I don't think I can write if I am not drinking, but if I keep drinking like this, I'm not going to be alive, and so I have to figure this
yeah,
out." And then basically she, like, channeled the artist's way because she had to learn how to, like, relearn how to be creative. It's Julia Cameron, which is James Cameron's sister, most creative family on the planet.
wow.
Yeah,
Seriously, who blessed them with all that?
right? All that riz. I keep misusing the word riz, but I really
Seriously.
like the word. I think it might apply here. My favorite word right
Okay, can I tell you, now that we're done recording, basically, I don't know if it's like why I don't, it might be maybe it's my microphone.
now.
Like I
Uh-huh.
can only hear myself when I talk
It
this
is much
close to the
louder,
microphone.
but it's
Sorry if that was really
still
loud in
sounds good.
everybody's ears.
It sounds good
But
when it's down here, but, it's louder if you go like this.
I know, but I used to be able to hear myself like
Maybe
some,
you
I
just
don't
need to
know,
turn down
something's
the
different.
like, I have 2 things that I need to turn up the headphone part to hear it better. Or
No, I only
it's
have
not
one.
me too. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's
I don't
weird.
know.
Well, anyways,
Anyways,
catch
uh
you later, giggly when it
I don't even know what I promoted, but the long story short, join my email newsletter and you'll have all the
Well, look at
updates.
the links and choose for yourself. It's all there. We love you guys. We'll be
That's
back
it.
next week for another episode. Bye.